Hello FlossTube, my name is Leann and I am leann.stitches here on YouTube and on Instagram. And this is my, I don't know what number FlossTube because it's been over 3 months since I've filmed and I couldn't tell you what's going on for the life of me. This is my hair's not done, I have no makeup, stress breakouts going on all over the place. Hot mess edition of my FlossTube channel because at some point you just have to say to heck with it and start somewhere. So this is it. I don't even remember what it's like to film a FlossTube. So, we're just gonna wing it and see how it goes. I can't say that I've done a ton of stitching over the last 3 months between trying to get my garden going and trying to figure out what the heck is wrong and why the bugs keep eating all my vegetables, to processing the food that's come in, to work being crazy because of a bazillion different reasons that I'm not going to get into, to kids starting school and all of that other stuff. Life has just been insane. But there's been a little bit of stitching. There's been mostly model stitching that I can't really show you because either A, it's still a secret and we're selling kits in my shop that is still, surprise kits, or because I left it at work. So at some point I will trickle all those model stitches through and show you what I've been up to that I can't show you right now. I also have a very exciting start planned for tomorrow that I can't wait to show you. I finally have an FFO'd Beauty and the Beast piece to show you. And there was something else. I don't remember what, but we'll get to it because I have a whole pile right there of stuff to show you. So first, I'm gonna show you Beauty and the Beast because every time I think about filming and I start to think, oh, I don't have time, I think, but I have to show Beauty and the Beast. So here we go. We're gonna hope that there's no, there we go, that's better. So I'm really excited over the frame job. I did get it custom framed because it was for my daughter's birthday. So I thought that paying the extra money for that was worthwhile. The only thing I'm bummed about, they stretched it and everything for me. The only thing I'm bummed about is that the mat comes too far up here. And so you lose that detail of the tiled border. But if that's my only complaint, I mean, that's nothing. They did a really beautiful job. I was really excited about it. And this frame, this gold braiding is just awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna check and see how the glare is, how bad it is. And I might cut some of that out and maybe insert a little clip of a close-up with no glare because it's really just too pretty to miss. I started that in, again, I have no notes, so I want to say February of 2020, and I finished it in May of 2021, and then I've already started the second piece. That is called Beauty and the Beast by Aurora CS on Etsy, and she does all of those stained glass pieces that are just gorgeous. They're all Disney inspired. And so I've started another one with Anna and Elsa from Frozen because that is my daughter's absolute favorite. And then I also have a pattern of Moana by her that I plan to do after Frozen, just to give Genevieve a little collection in her room because she doesn't really have anything on her walls yet. So yeah, exciting. So the next piece I'm going to show you is, as always, my Marvel Heroes piece. I honestly don't know how much progress has been made on this since the last time I showed you. It's kind of been in timeout for a while, through no fault of its own, but this is where I'm at right now. I have filled in quite a bit. I've gone to the point where I'm just starting at the top and picking a color and following it all the way down to completion. The reason why it's in timeout is because I went to go upload the next page into Pattern Keeper. And I don't know what I did last time. I don't know what magic happened that let Pattern Keeper read the page that I uploaded, but it won't do it again. We tried, my husband and I both tried for an entire evening of importing the next page into Photoshop, of exporting it back out, of changing the different settings, of trying to make the file bigger and smaller. And we tried everything, and Pattern Keeper will not read it. And for a while, the thought of going back to stitching block by block and parking all those threads, it just couldn't handle it. So it has been in timeout for a good long while. But it is my major goal to finish that next year to give to my husband to hang in his office. And so I kind of got to put on my big girl panties and get back into it. So that's where that piece has been. The next piece I'm going to show you is God Shed His Grace. And this is from the Cross Stitch Studio. This was supposed to be another one of my focus pieces this year. My husband really wants a huge piece of artwork to hang over our couch in our living room. And when I showed him this piece, he really loved it and thought it would look great. And it's definitely big enough. It's 869 by 583, and I'm stitching it on 18 count, so it's massive. But I just, with all the model stitching I've been doing, I just have not gotten to focus on this like I should have. But I did pull it out in July. Yeah, July, because August I basically just model stitched. And I put a good bit of work into it. I can't tell you how many stitches, but it was over 1,000. And what I did, I don't know if you can see, but so I had all this black in here, and then there's a lighter green. And then I also started putting in 3371, which is a really dark brown. So yeah, I actually filled in quite a bit. And like I said, I don't know where I was the last time I showed it, but I know that I filled in a whole lot on this. So there's that one. The next piece I'm going to show you is Quaker Pumpkins by Liz Matthews. And this is one of my absolute favorite patterns that I started last year. I think I actually started it as one of my birthday starts last year. I don't know if I've told the story here on my FlossTube channel or not, because I didn't start it till well after my birthday, but for my 40th birthday last year, my husband and I were supposed to go on a Northern European adventure, and we'd been saving money, and we were going to book like this huge trip through Norway and Sweden and just all kinds of fun stuff. We were going to take a train up through Norway to the Arctic Circle, and it was going to be amazing. And we ended up canceling it actually before COVID because of my father-in-law's health. But it would have been canceled anyway because of COVID. So there's that. And then we decided, okay, well, by the fall, everything will be fine. We'll finally use some Universal Studios tickets that my husband had purchased 10 years ago for my 30th birthday. They're good forever, that we've never been able to use because of mostly pregnancy. Every time we tried to go, I ended up getting pregnant. So we didn't end up going. Anyway, so we were gonna do that. Well, then we had to cancel that because of COVID. So I ended up just starting like a whole bunch of things. I think I started 6 projects over 2 weeks last year. So this was actually the very first conversion I ever did with my own flosses and fabric. And progress has been a little slower than I probably should do. Ooh, sorry for shaking the table, considering it should be a model stitch. But I'm kind of trying to make it not work and just make it fun. So this is where I'm at. And the last time I showed it, I basically had, I don't even know if I had this whole pumpkin done. So I took this out for the last 24 hours of cross stitch, and I spent the entire weekend, which I think I got 18 hours out of the 24, which is actually a record for me. But I spent the entire piece on this, and I got this pumpkin done. I think maybe I had the stem of this pumpkin done when I started. But I got this pumpkin done. I started this pumpkin. I got all these motifs done. I worked this entire bottom border and partially on the top border. So I got a lot done. And this fabric is called Spearmint, and it's in my shop. This was the prototype, and so the stuff in the shop is a little bit different. It's a little more modeled. And this is a 32 count. And then I couldn't tell you all the different colors I've used, but it is up for sale in my shop, the floss pack that I used for my conversion. The next piece I'm going to show you is Dark Voyager. And this is some artwork that my son found on the internet on a Google search. And I used Stitch Fiddle and converted it into a full coverage piece. I couldn't tell you the dimensions off the top of my head, like I said, because we're flying by the seat of our pants with no notes right now. But I do know that there are 80,000 stitches in it. And so I worked a good chunk on this because this is, again, supposed to be one of my focus pieces. I'm supposed to be making some serious headway on this so that I could potentially finish next year. I think that's what I wanted to do. But again, life happens. So I've been focusing on this big blue chunk right here. And as you can see, I've almost gotten down to the bottom. I had to do a lot of frogging. This line right here, I had to frog all of that. I can't remember why. I think I was like 1 stitch off when I started putting this stuff in. So I'm just kind of making my way from the corner across. I don't really have a plan on this piece. I'm just stitching what I feel like right now. It's just a whole lot of blue. I think I put about 1,500 stitches into that piece. I want to say I did it for a monster in Magical Stitches, maybe in June, maybe in July, who knows. The next piece I worked on is Mini Realm of Enchantment. The artwork is by Ann Stokes and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is a piece for my middle child, my oldest daughter, Noelle. She wanted something with a fairy and a unicorn, and I found this for her. So here I am. I think I worked in here. I know I worked in here. I had to do a lot of ripping on this one too, in here. So I think I kind of filled in all of this. I honestly don't know what I did. I filled in a lot. I put in a lot of stitches. Here is the fairy's wing. I'm pretty sure I worked a ton on that. And I know I worked on this green in here. And there's a lighter blue in there that I worked on. I don't know. Like I said, there's a whole ton of stitches on there that weren't there before. That's all I know. So there's that one. And then the piece I've been working on the most recently, I don't know why, but I just had a craving to work on this piece. I had been, well, let me show you. It's Reader's Paradise, artwork by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is just the regular size, regular colors. And like I said, I've just been craving working on this piece. And I started in the top. Is that the left corner, the right corner? I don't even know. I started up here, and this piece right here, I was missing one of the main colors in there. And so I went to the craft store a while ago, probably honestly after the last time I filmed, and I picked up the colors, the color that I needed, and it just sat because, like I said, I've been just doing so many model stitches. I literally spent the entire month of August just on 3 different model stitches. So I pulled this out on August 31st. I was in the middle of my 4th model stitch and I was like, enough is enough. I'm taking a break. I'm adjusting my release schedule and I have to do some personal stitching or I might cry. So here is Reader's Paradise, and the color that I bought is in here, and it's also all up in here. It's I can't remember the number, but yeah, so I've maybe done about 800 stitches on it over the last 3 days. It's not a lot just because I've been working crazy hours, and so I maybe do 1 length of thread, which on 25 count is about 150 stitches. Sometimes I get through 2 lengths of thread. Sometimes I go to bed at 8 o'clock like I did the other night. So, and then I had some missing stitches in here. Like you can see one right there. And so I've been filling in those where I can. The ones that are left up there, I was too lazy to go get the floss basically because I was sitting on my bed stitching and I just didn't want to get up and go get it. So I moved on to a different color. So eventually I'll get to those pieces, but I'm just really excited because I think this is one of my only full coverage pieces where there's so much detail right up front, and I've actually been stitching it in a way that you can see it. That's been one of my main complaints about working on Once Upon a Fairy Tale, is that I see it on Facebook, in Facebook groups, and the detail is just beautiful, and the way I've been stitching it, I'm just not getting that. And so I've been working towards it on that piece, but on this one I actually get to see it, and so I just love working on it. So there's that one. And that is basically all that. It's not everything I've worked on, but it's basically everything that I was gonna show because I didn't want it to be an hour-long video. I did work on a couple other pieces, but not enough significantly. That doesn't even make sense. It wasn't a significant enough amount to really show it. Like I said, I did pull out that new Frozen piece, and so next time I work on it, I'll show it, but I'd rather talk about starts. So tomorrow is my birthday, and as such, everything has gone awry. All my plans have been canceled. My friends are sick, have kids who have been exposed to COVID at school, blah, blah, blah. So all of my plans got canceled again, except for this. And I am going to start this. So if you've been watching, you know that I participated in No New Starts 2021. I had to drop out because I went over my allotted model stitches. I was allowed 11. I was allowed 11 model stitches plus if I needed a 12th, I had to use my free start because everybody got a freebie. I haven't gone over it yet, but I think I'm about to. I honestly don't know because I stopped counting. But at some point when I was reporting model stitches, that number dropped from 11 to 8. And I definitely have gone over that 8. And so I don't know if there was a mistake. I don't know if it was a misspeak or whatever. But, you know, since they told me 8, I'm a really big rule follower. So I'm going with that 8 number because, like I said, I've already blown past that. I think I'm at 9. Like I said, I haven't really been keeping track. I'm feeling awfully spastic right now. So a couple of weeks ago, it was time to do a mid-year check-in where you had to go and take a picture of every single one of your whips and upload it into your photo album to show that you've been working on things. And knowing that I was about to go over that model stitch limit, I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm done. It doesn't mean I'm going to go out and start a whole bunch of things because I still stand by that I need to be working on my current projects and not starting a bunch of new things. But officially I am out of the running, so I'm not going to feel guilty for starting this because I was still feeling guilty. Even though I got a freebie, I was still feeling awfully guilty for starting something using that freebie. So I'm done with the guilt. So like I said, I'm feeling a little spastic. Okay, so here is my start for my birthday. It is Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. I saw this for the first time on Stitchin' Mommy's channel. I went back and I was working on this awful order in the summertime. It wasn't an awful order. It was an amazing order. It was an amazing opportunity. It was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life though. And I was working from like 8 to 2 or 3. I was going home, I was taking a nap, and then I was going back and doing what I called the night shift, and I was working till 2, 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. And so I started watching Stitchin' Mommy's old FlossTubes, and I started at the very beginning, and she was stitching this, and I just completely fell in love with it. The only thing that I didn't love was the fabric. I'm really not a brown person. It has its uses. It is a beautiful color. It's just aesthetically not extremely pleasing to me. My house, as you can see, is decorated in gray. That color right there, no, that color right there is technically green. Sea spray, I think is what it's called. The rest of my house is completely gray. It's painted knitting needles because I thought that was like a little ironic when we were building our house. But it's grays, it's blues, it's turquoise, it's teal, there is no brown anywhere in this house. I mean, these curtains come out a little bit brown in the video, but they're not, they're gray. So I started looking online for what people had done. I thought that if I did a gray background, I thought that this part of her coat just wasn't going to turn out. And that was really part of the magic of the pattern, and I really wanted it to stand out. So I started searching for projects that people had done, and I found one on green. I found a couple of them on green, actually. I found one that was on a bluer forest green, and then I found one that was on a very beautifully modeled olivey green. Not quite olive, but it was more of a yellow green. And that was it for me. I knew that that was what I wanted to do. I had to do it. So I bought the pattern, I bought the kit with it. I thought it had everything in it, but it turns out it was missing the whisper thread, which is that white part in her coat is done with the whisper thread. So it's a little bit furry. So I just ordered that a couple of days ago, and it's already shipped. And then the kit only included one of the spools of Krynic that it needed. It needed 2 of that particular color, so I'll have to go back and buy another one of those. But my birthday came up before I knew it. Like, I'm not ready at all because I've just been working like crazy, and time has gone by so fast this year. So this week I took a second and I grabbed a couple of half yards of fabric and I threw them in the dye pot, and I flew by the seat of my pants with this, and I came up with this green. And these are both 32 count. One is opalescent. Sorry if I'm shaking the table and making the camera go all twitchy. But yeah, so that's how it turned out. And I am just completely in love with it. It is exactly how I pictured it, and I just couldn't be more thrilled. So I posted on Instagram a couple of days ago asking if I should do sparkle or no sparkle. And at first it was very solidly no sparkle. And then as the night wore on, the sparkly people came out. But I mean, in general, my life's philosophy is sparkle is necessary. But as I was ironing these to do a floss toss, I completely fell in love with the modeling on the non-sparkle. It's got just this dark olivey bits, and then it's got this more blue bits, and it kind of feels like it's a combination between those two ones that I had seen on my Google search. And then combined with this one had some bits like this, which I don't dislike, and plus it's at the edge, so it probably doesn't even really matter. But my gut was telling me to go with non-sparkle, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start it tomorrow on this. That's pretty true to color, I think. And I'm very excited. This is my first Mirabilia. So yeah, I have no idea how I'm gonna manage the pattern. I think I'm just gonna take a photograph of it. My printer is broken at home, and I've been trying to find a low profile printer because it sits on a bookshelf, and right now the printer we have just completely overhangs the bookshelf, and it's a little bit of a nightmare. So I'm trying to find a really low profile printer, and I just can't make up my mind because they're really expensive, so I don't want to buy the wrong one. So I think I'm just going to take a photo of it instead of making a photocopy, and just work off of my tablet and see how that goes. Okay, so that's my new start. I'm going to start that tomorrow. I have joked with some friends on Instagram that I'm going to stay up till midnight tonight and start stitching at 12:01. But I also worked all day today, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up, go to church, come home, and I might feed my kids lunch. I don't know. We'll see. It's my birthday. I don't have to, right? I'm going to start stitching, and I've already told my husband my plans after church tomorrow are to sit on my bed, watch TV, and stitch. And he is fully on board with that. So, yeah. Okay, a couple more things. One thing that I have decided to abandon is this piece. It's called The Pledge of Allegiance, and it's by Cross Stitch Studio. And I've been thinking about abandoning this one for a while. It came up in Whip Go, which I have also completely abandoned. Let's not make any pretenses. I haven't done any Whip Go goals since like March, if that. And I just don't feel like working on it. And it is a huge piece. It is 700 by 420, which is about the size. I'm gonna look back through my pieces. It's slightly smaller than that God Shed His Grace. And so it's like 475,000 stitches. And if I am going to put that much time into a piece, I need to really, really love it. And I just don't have the feels about that anymore. I have done very little. I've maybe gotten 1,000 stitches, maybe 1,500 stitches on it total. And it is a massive piece of fabric. So I'm done. So I get to cross one more whip off my list because we all know I haven't really been finishing anything this year because, you know, life. So yeah, so there's that. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is I finally got to see my mom in June. I have not seen her since March of 2020. She was here when COVID broke out. We went to Nashville Needlework Market together, like the weekend after everything got crazy. And then her flight got canceled. And so she stayed an extra week and then she went home, and I have not seen her. I had not seen her since. So I got on a plane, I flew out to California. I picked her up and we flew back home, and she stayed here for 3 weeks, and we went to the beach and got to spend some quality time, and it was amazing. And one of the things that we got to do while she was here was a project that I had been wanting to do for a while. So I think I've mentioned on here before that when I was little, how I got into cross stitching is that my mom owned a craft store when I was like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, something like that. And so I learned how to stitch at her store. So, and my mom used to be big into cross stitch. And so she had an entire set of DMC my entire life. It was just there. And, you know, in the 80s and 90s, friendship bracelets were a thing. So when I wanted to make a friendship bracelet, I found her little binders. She had 2 of these. And I just pulled out whatever colors I wanted, and I made a friendship bracelet. So there have been a lot of new colors that have come out since the 80s when she put together this set. See, they were all, we completely took it apart to make the new ones, but she had this master thread list. So the star meant it was in the second binder. And so, because she had it all sorted by color family, so when you needed a color, you'd go to this thread list and you'd figure out which binder it was in and which card it was on, and you'd go to that card. And here is what the cards looked like. So yeah, when I got into cross stitching last year, she gave me her set. She has saved it all these years, even though she doesn't cross stitch anymore. And so she gave it to me, and a lot of the threads are missing. They've been used over the years, like I said, probably in friendship bracelets. So when she was here, I found those same Leann thread cards on, I think 123 Stitch. So I ordered a bunch of them, and we went to, I think, Walmart, and we bought pillows. And my mom really did it. Made these things, sewed snap-on, and just took these are the same binder rings that used to, that used to go through these. So we made grommets. I did the grommets. I did that part. And we made new cards. And there's a lot more floss than there used to be. She had 22 cards, and I didn't even number them because there are so many. I think I bought 45 and I used them all, and I had to buy more. So mine right now only goes up to 38, 40. And then I had to buy more cards, and I haven't filled them out yet and put them in here. But so I transferred all the floss from her books into here, and And then while she was here, it's kind of hard to show it sitting up because the cards don't flip very well because they, you know, they do that. They flop over. So I just transferred all of her floss in here. And it was funny because like I had the leftover floss from Beauty and the Beast, which I started that project before I had her set. So I bought my own colors. And so looking at like the difference in dye lots from the 1980s to the 2020s has been interesting that they're pretty close. This might wiggle while I'll snap it back. But so then literally the day after we finished these, Joann's had their lowest price of the year sale. So I felt that I had a moral imperative to go to Joann's. Was it Joann's? Yeah, it was Joann's. And buy a master set. So I did. And you know, there were some that were missing, but I bought the entire set. Even if I had them in here, I just went and got the whole set. And I haven't put them all in there yet. I have put all of the new colors, like the 01, 02, all of those ones I put in there. And then I was missing a few of those, so I picked them up at a different craft store. And I haven't put those in yet. They're sitting right there on my nightstand, just mocking me. So I figure as I go through some of these full coverage designs, the ones that I didn't buy floss for because it only has a couple hundred stitches, and I knew eventually my plan had always been to get a master set. So as I come to those colors, then I'll go in my little boxes where I put all the floss. I organized it all by number. So I'll go get that, and then I'll cut it up and I'll put it in there. So yeah, that was the really exciting thing that I've been doing, that I got to do over the last 3 months. I think that's it. Yep, that's everything I brought out. So yeah, thanks for muddling through this with me. I think this might be one of my shortest FlossTube videos yet, probably because I talked really fast because like I said, I'm feeling a little spastic. But I'm really excited to finally have like broken the seal and gotten that first video after 3 months out of the way. So I plan to come back next week and show you my Mirabilia progress. And I know I will get back on the Marvel Heroes train. Today is Saturday. Therefore, it is time for the Superhero Saturday Sal that I have not participated in at least 2 months while it has been on timeout. So I am going to stitch on that for a little while today. And other than that, I don't really have any plans for this week yet. I'm kind of just seeing how it goes. But yeah, I did find a video editing software. So I'm going to try to start inserting pictures of like before pictures. I don't have any before pictures this time because, you know, in case I haven't said it enough times, it's been 3 months since my last video. So hopefully next week I'll have some cool before and after pictures to show you, or maybe like I can flash Superhero Saturday Sal across the screen or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for spending some time with me, and I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope that you get a nice long weekend and you're not working all weekend like me, and that whatever you're doing this weekend, just remember to always lead with love. Bye.